Welcome to the Khalidiyya show. Today we have a special guest, Noah Haytin.
Oh,
he is a longtime friend, an artist. We are actually curated together by the Levantine Cultural Center back in the day here in Los Angeles. And for some reason, we've remained friends.
I do question that to this day.
I question it too.
I mean, we're talking like 10, 11, 12 years ago, right?
That was like 2011. So yeah.
Seems like 20.
Your glasses kind of look like my glasses. Are you copying me?
Well, yes, and I also would like you to call me Khalid, just so I don't feel excluded tonight.
K3.
Like I thought I could be like the third.
No. You have your own special status.
Fine. Dimmy status.
Noah.
نوح بن إبراهيم المغربي.
An accomplished artist. Did a Fulbright. Do they call it a grant or a scholarship?
It was a Fulbright grant.
They call it a grant.
Fulbright Hayes grant, to be exact. It was in Marrakesh.
In Marrakesh, Morocco.
Yeah.
And did some stuff. Did some art fairs, Istanbul, Cairo, little things like that. No big deal.
Don't.
Little things like that. Little things like that.
Big things like that.
But started off, which is, and the funny thing is, he also started off doing album covers for Oakland rappers. So,
well, mostly
got some range there.
Bay Area.
Got some range on this guy.
I definitely have some miles on me. And yeah,
well, tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that scene.
Here
Introduce yourself.
Still the bottom, I think. But tell us about myself.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Yeah, do the thing, man.
You did a decent job. Thank you. Man, it was all right. You got my name basically right.
Basically.
And yes, I came up before your young selves and started out more in like illustration, graphic art, commercial art, like doing drawings for rappers, logos, album covers, things like that in the Bay Area in the early 90s. That's really, but I mean, I was drawing my whole life and I was always, looking at things and drawing them and looking at things and drawing them or drawing things and, that kind of kid, just drawing scribbling in the margins of the homework, in the classwork, getting in trouble for it, writing, tried my hand at tagging, got caught, was my fault. I wrote my real name. And the janitor was like, I know it was you. And I was like, how did you know it was me? And he's like, well, you wrote Noah and there was only like 2 Noahs in the school. So, and he's like, you're the only one that draws. So dumb.
You think with all these years of drawing, you'd be better at it.
I washed.
You're the only.
I washed the walls and I learned my lesson. So I kept it more in the books, in the sketchbooks and stuff. And yes, I'm wearing these glasses because it's like I'm online so much these days that it's like seriously straining my eyes. Plus, you both wear glasses. So I have felt
these are like Malcolm X style glasses. These are Malcolm X style.
Well, I was trying to be somewhere between your 2 styles.
Right.
He's wearing the same.
They're pretty close.
They're like college. Yeah,
Malcolm X. That little silver thing in the middle, whatever.
Yes. But grew up in the Bay Area. Back to me. Grew up in the Bay Area. And moved to Southern California basically in 2000, let's just say. It was like, I think it was December 99. But I started school at Long Beach State for my MFA in January of 2000. So I'm a transplant. And I'm still out here. I mean, I finished school, but I'm still out here. And, married with a kid, dog, things like that.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy is one of my nicknames.
We love it when they call you Big Papa.
I love that. And, you know, been showing around different group shows, mostly group shows, admittedly, different galleries. Never had any exclusive representation from any gallery. But, you know, through showing around LA and different group shows, I caught the attention of curator, Jordan El Grobly from the Levantine Cultural Center, which was a great cultural space in LA and a unique one, you know, that was making a cultural space for basically Middle Eastern, North African cultures, right? We could say. I mean, they had art shows, they had book readings. And through that, he introduced me to another artist, Khalid Hussein, who's on here. There he is. And yeah, like you said, here we are.
That's how
10
we
years later, somehow still friends. And
reluctantly.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. I'll let people judge. But through you, Khalid Hussein, I met Khalid El Serafi.
We got the Syrian. Yeah.
The Syrian.
So now so we have an Egyptian, a Syrian, and a fake Moroccan.
An honorary. Let's do the honorary.
I'm pseudo
Moroccan.
Pseudo artist, pseudo human.
How do you say pseudo in Moroccan?
I want to say something funny, but I can't think of anything. It's not going to work. I don't know.
Well, before we get into the Middle Eastern stuff, tell us about the picture you have in the back behind you.
Oh, well, that is not my work, but I also collect work. I have a painting by Khalid Hussein here, or 2 or 3, which I can actually get and show. So I have other artists in my collection. You know, I collect work, I trade work, I buy work from other artists, support other artists. This is a piece, a photographic print. I mean, from an original negative by the photographer who created that image for the first, or I believe it's the first, the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers album, the iconic album cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, no, I've seen you've done a lot of, you post a lot of your old work that was for different hip hop artists in the Bay Area, and was it who?
Yeah, I do that.
Like, yeah, there were a few of them that you worked with who blew up eventually, right?
Right. And I post a lot of that stuff. People really seem to be interested in that 20-something years later now. I guess the golden era, what people are calling the golden era of hip hop, which is like, you know, mostly 90s. Maybe a little, in my opinion, it goes into the early 2000s were still the 90s. You know what I mean? But mostly the golden era existed in the 90s. Maybe the late 80s through the 90s and then into the beginning of the 2000s. But
you were interviewed recently for a documentary.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I've been on some documentaries and podcasts about the work. You know, like on BT and other.
You want to drop some names and, you know, do a little.
Well, I mean, shout out to, you know, my friend now friend and DJ personality, radio personality, Kevin, DJ KBZ Fashizi up at KPOO in San Francisco. And
KPOO?
I've been on, the Murder Master music show just had me on out of Southern Illinois. There's a bunch of things. So, I mean, shout out to everyone who's supporting and interested. And, you know,
this is your moment to plug. Feel free to plug if you want to.
I'll keep plugging. Must plug.
Plug it up. Go ahead.
Will plug. Thank you. I'll just keep plugging.
Where do we find these documentaries? Where should we view them if we want to view them?
Well, BET has the No Limit Chronicles. That's a documentary I was on. It was a 5-part docu-series, I believe. I was in the 2nd episode.
Yeah, but where the hell do you watch BET if you don't
on BET cable? Or on their website?
Like, who has cable anymore?
Some people do.
Not but people that are. I mean, I guess maybe people who are into 90s hip hop because they're OGs, but
go on their website.
on their website. Do you have to subscribe?
You can create some kind of account, I believe, through their website and watch it on their website.
And the podcasts?
Podcasts, I will have links. Well, I have links to some of them. And there's another one dropping on August 16th on Murder Master Music Show on their YouTube channel. So check that out. And then I'll create a link to that once it's up on my website. I mean, look, if you go to my website, to be honest with you, I need to upload a whole lot more artwork, but I do have a website. It's my name, noahhaytin.com. And there's a page for the Golden Era Rap graphic stuff that you mentioned, but there's also a page for my more fine art stuff my drawings and paintings some of which I've shown in galleries. And there are links to a couple different articles I received recently, like write-ups about my work in Voyage LA and Shout Out LA magazine. And so shout out to them for supporting Voyage LA and Shout Out LA. And there are links to that on my website, noahhaytin.com. And then there's also a couple links to a couple different hip hop focused podcasts that had me on as a guest about the graphic art and photography I did in 90s hip hop in the Bay Area.
So you have enough.
How am I doing with plugging? How am I doing?
You have enough links to make a gold chain.
Nice. The Pharaoh's got some bars. I like that. Bars. Did I do good with the plugging? Am I plugging enough?
That was solid plugging.
Nice.
We will repost those links on our venues and whatever platforms that we mess with.
Nice.
So,
thank you.
So let me ask you, how then did you go from that scene in the Bay Area, then you moved to LA? How did you transition into the Middle Eastern, North African?
Yeah,
how did the transformation happen?
Jewish dude who's doing hip hop album covers in the Bay Area, and suddenly you're in Marrakesh. How did that go down?
I don't know, man. I just smoked something one day and I woke up there, and the rest is history.
Moroccan black, some Moroccan black.
Oh yeah. Yes. I haven't fully recovered, but basically, I mean, look, I got to give you the condensed version. But basically, like I said, after I've been working in the early 90s in hip hop graphics after I graduated Berkeley High School. And then I I did my undergrad in San Francisco at the Academy of Art, and I worked other part-time jobs. I worked at a bunch of different gyms in Oakland too.
What were you, a towel boy?
More or less, but I also worked out and helped people with their workouts. So I did more than fold and wash towels. But I'm not saying I didn't do that too. Anyway, towel boy.
You towel boy.
Yeah, that's what they called me in Morocco too.
Who did you towel off in Morocco?
Hey, hammams are a big business. I was oh yeah, there is a name for that. I'm forgetting about it. I think
hammams?
It's just, yeah, like for the guy who's in the hammam whose job it is to scrub people, scrub you down for like some change. There's a guy who spends ksel. That's what it's called. A ksel. Ksel. I'm not saying it that way, but the cloth. Like that you scrub someone with.
Oh yeah, the loofah.
Yeah. Okay. So
equivalent of a loofah or a lifa in Arabic.
It would be the what?
We call it a lifa, at least in my dialect. Yeah, but
right.
Lifa.
Right. Well, Moroccan dialect's the best, but
here we go.
Started. Now we're getting started.
This is how my relationship with you started, by the way, which is always this shit talk on the Syrian dialect and how Moroccan.
No, I didn't. I never. No. I never spoke Syrian.
Moroccan dialect's the best, and Morocco's the best, and
yeah, I'm not anti anyone else. I'm just pro Maghrebi. So,
please go ahead.
The name of the guy who spends the whole day in the hammam, getting money tips to scrub people's backs mostly. it would be like calling him, like you said, if it's called like a loofah, then we calling him like the loofah or loofadero,
Right.
you know?
Right.
It's like loofahzadeh or something.
Would they like crack your joints too? Kind of like
Yes,
a
you
chiropractor?
can pay extra
They
for
do the
that.
same thing in Syria, in the hammams in Syria.
Yeah,
There's like
So,
this big dude who just like,
right.
that's his thing.
But he also must have the best skin in the world if you think about it. His whole job, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, is being in a steam bath. So the dude's skin must just be like flawless, right?
I don't know. He might be like completely like pruned out from.
That's
like,
true. Or he's dehydrated as fuck and he's like looks like a prune and he needs to drink water because he sweated everything out. So I don't even remember what I was at, but oh yeah, I moved from like basically January 2000. Then I relocated to Long Beach, California. Shout out to the LBC. And I didn't know anyone there, and I was kind of intimidated, to be honest, because I mean, I didn't know anyone. I moved to a new city for the first time where I didn't know anyone, and the only thing I heard about Long Beach that was like Snoop Dogg and all the, you know.
And with all this trouble in the LBC.
And then I heard about all the drama in the LBC. Yeah, exactly.
So,
I
heard. I don't know. Someone told me that it's kind of hard with all the drama in the LBC.
That's right. It's kind of hard. But
there was some guy with the dog.
I met, you know, from going to school there and getting my degree over the like a few years, my graduate degree, my MFA. I met people, made friends, and some of these are friends for life. We're still friends, you know. That was 2003 when I graduated with my MFA. And originally I thought I'm going to move back to the Bay Area as soon as I get my degree. Well, that didn't happen. Life happened. And, you know, I was nomadic for a while, actually. Like literally, I mean, I was in LA after I graduated, like, you know, okay, I worked at a gallery. I worked as an assistant to an artist in Venice, Alexis Smith. You know, I did those type of jobs while I made work and got in a lot of, I was doing pretty well at getting in group shows. And just was doing that scene for a few more years after I graduated. And I was living up in West LA, Mar Vista area. And then, you know, I really—
Shout out to Mar Vista.
Shout out to Mar.
Do they have a gang sign?
They probably do.
I don't know. Like, MV.
Okay. Shout out to MV. So
I live in Mar Vista, by the way, so everyone knows.
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's
you
nice.
should
I
know
like
the
Mar
gang
Vista.
signs then.
It's
I
always
should know
like,
them.
dude, I'm sure it's like, I'm in Pasadena. It's probably 15 degrees cooler where you're at.
Yeah, there is,
You know?
there is a difference.
Right. So basically, where was I? I took classes at Long Beach. I made friends. We're still friends for life. Then I worked at a gallery, and I worked as an assistant to an artist in Venice, California. And then, you know, but the whole time, like, you know, I had an interest in travel, and I hadn't traveled as much as like I wanted to. I had been, you know, I've been to like Hawaii, and I've been to Mexico. As a California kid, that's not crazy, you know, impressive travel. You know, not that those aren't great places. I love them, but you know, I had been curious for years about traveling further abroad, and certain places I wanted to go my whole life, like Egypt. I mean, my grandmother, my one living grandparent, is 101 years old, and she's out in West LA. She's met Khalid. She doesn't like him, but she's met him. And I told her I didn't either, but here we are. We're still friends. And you know, actually, she came to our show.
She did.
Yeah, she's been around a long time. She's 101. Yeah. So like anything I can think of, she was there in my life. Whoa, a cat just jumped out of the background.
Yeah, that's my cat. He'll make appearances every now and then.
Does he get like an honorarium?
Guest star.
He's looking out the window. He's got your back, dude. He's looking out the window.
Oh yeah. This is Antar. This guy's like, you don't mess around with Antar. Please go on.
Hey, tell your cat to stop interrupting my life story.
Well, the cat wants a profile too, you know? It's like,
right.
this douche.
Every cat has its day. So, you know, after a few years of doing the LA gallery hopping, you know, working for a pretty big name artist, you know, as an assistant, I was like, well, I had a friend from college, you know, who also lived in Long Beach, who is Moroccan. And he had invited me to come out there and stay with his family. And I was like, wow, you know, everything I've heard about Morocco, it sounds really interesting. And what I started saying about my grandmother was, she to this day will tell me a story that when I was 7 years old, she was leaving on a trip. I was visiting LA because I grew up in the Bay Area, but I was there visiting LA, and I guess my grandmother and grandfather were leaving for Egypt, you know, as a trip. They had never been. And I said, take me, she'll tell you that I said, at 7 years old, I said, take me with you. My whole life, I've wanted to go to Egypt. You know? Right. Right. And I ended up in the fatherland, but we'll talk about that more later. But yes, I mean, the papyrus scroll drawings, hieroglyphics, stuff like that was just stuff that I loved growing up whenever I saw it. You know, I feel like it influenced my drawing style. Like things were often flat and graphic and in profile. You know, that's definitely ancient Egyptian art is a big influence, I think, in my drawing style. So apparently I just wanted to go there since I was a kid, because at 7, I thought my whole life I want to go. So I finally did much later in 2010. But before Egypt, it was Morocco that was like the big destination for me because I had never been. So that friend that invited me, I said, okay, you know what? Like I was like, I've had it with LA. I'm a single dude. I've been working in the galleries. I just felt like, what am I going to do with my life? Like I need to do something sooner than later. Why wait? You know, why? I guess I just started feeling like to always put something off. I guess I got to an age where I felt like, you know, why keep putting it off? Why can't I plan this so that someday is like soon, you know? And so I told my friend Khalid, yes, another friend Khalid, except he pronounces it Khalid. So yeah, you know, I made my way through Europe, had a great time. Because you can't, well, from LA, you can't fly direct into Morocco. So, you know, I was like, made a trip of it, you know, and made my way there. We had a great time. I loved it. I came back, got back into the groove with the LA stuff that I told you about. But I could never shut up about Morocco. I was always talking about it to friends.
Yeah, you still can't shut up about Morocco. You've never shut up about Morocco.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So
it's like Moroccans don't talk so much about Morocco, dude.
Right. I know. And part of it, I do it to bother you guys. You know that.
Not that we have any hatred for Morocco. It's just
Moat.
Well, you know, I mean, we got, so you're here representing Maghreb, and then we got Levant over here with Saidafi, the Syrian. I'm sort of in the middle. Egypt is sort of, you know, a little bit Maghreb, a little bit, you know, Dome of the Rock and Roll.
Yes.
Or, you know, just you know what I mean? Like, we're a little Africa, we're a little bit Middle East, we're a little bit, you know, Mediterranean. You know, pretty much everybody's been here with the Greeks and the French and everything, you know.
Right. Well, Morocco is, I would describe it pretty similarly to what you just said. I mean, no, it's not actually like geographically part of the Middle East, but there is obviously a Middle Eastern influence that's heavy there, mixed with African and
you know,
Spanish and Portuguese and, you know, French, you know, so not to mention
the first Arabs in Morocco were the Umayyads, came from Syria, actually. So.
Oh, really?
You and Zedify got that in common. It was
right. Well,
after a revolution in Syria, in Damascus, they fled and went all the way across North Africa and ended up in Morocco. So,
which
Well,
is
you can't really. They
why
couldn't really go any farther, right? I mean, it's the farthest west.
They went to Spain. They almost
Went to
they were in
Spain.
France. You know, what I mean, until
Well,
Charles.
that's north. That's north. I mean, they couldn't go further than Morocco like that west.
there isn't anything like it's the ocean, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be in the first in the Atlantic.
yeah. I mean, but that's why there is such a big similarity in architecture. You look at like Damascene architecture and Moroccan architecture, a lot of similarities. Especially we're
Right.
talking about the riads and all that, like
Yeah,
the
with the
traditional stuff.
courtyard in the middle,
Mhm.
and a lot of
Very,
their
very
roofs have the ceramic,
similar.
like terracotta ceramic jade.
Yeah, we
colored
we
roof.
never had those. Those
Right.
we
Well,
don't
they
have.
told me in
but
Morocco that really came from some Chinese influence.
That is
I
interesting.
don't know if it's like Silk Road trading stuff, but they said they got that from Chinese roofs.
Well,
And it does look like that.
There was a lot of cross-cultural pollination. You know, I mean, like Arab manuscripts definitely took, you know, some influence from Chinese watercolors and that kind of stuff.
Chinois.
Sini. That's, I mean, you know, I mean, like Arabs went east and they discovered rice and tea and watercolors.
Nice. And that's history right there. That's awesome.
There
And
you
there's
go.
still a lot of cross-cultural pollination going on. And even more so, I guess, now with the internet, you know, because now everyone can see everything that anyone's doing anywhere, anytime, you know. So,
but this is something that a lot of people get wrong about Middle Eastern culture and Islamic, you know, civilization, is that they were very open to other cultures and other ideas. They were the first people to start translating, you know, Aristotle and Plato out of, you know, Old Greek. They, you know, really were a connection between China, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the West.
the Bay Area.
And yeah, the Bay Area. Yeah, they didn't quite make it to the Bay Area.
The 415, huh?
For a while.
Right.
It took them a little while to get to the Bay Area. That didn't exactly happen.
That wasn't the Umayyad dynasty.
Yeah.
Although they say that California, the name California has like some Arabic roots.
Yeah, it's supposed to be from
Khalifa.
Khalifa,
Right.
who was like it's a mythical queen Khalidiyya that, like, they take the name from Khalifa that ruled California. That was an indigenous ruler of California before the Spanish arrived. There's a whole story.
Right.
Which is kind of a lame story because she ends up like being defeated and then marrying like some Spanish guy or something. You know,
Don't we all?
Conqueror.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I know, you know, and Antonio Banderas, he's just, you know, ponytail, he's just too sexy. He's so sexy, I cannot resist. I am from Spain.
I really got to tell you though, based on, you know, like I went to Spain too, southern Spain, and the ancient Andalusia. I mean, Granada, Cordoba. You know, I went through. I mean, I was also up in Barcelona and I've been to Madrid, but you know, the further south in Spain, it really was amazing how much of the architectural presence and, well, especially architectural presence, but the sort of leftover cultures, if you will, from, you know, the Moorish times of Spain are so clear in southern Spain. You know,
well, they were there for, you know, hundreds of years. Yeah, and you know, like, and here's the thing, like, you talk to almost any Arab or Muslim, like there's a huge pride in Andalusian culture and in the Spanish Arab Muslim culture there, because it was a time of they were one of the most advanced civilizations in the world at the time, and also it was a time of great collaboration and peace between Jews, Christians, and Muslims. My dad, who
traveled to so many places, refused to visit Spain
Why?
because he was like, it's too painful. It's too
What do you mean?
painful to like to see the remnants of that civilization, and just to be like, it's just a heavy loss. You know, there are some
Right.
people who feel that way, you know.
Arabs really
uh
have like a great reverence. Like this was like one of our greatest moments in our civilization,
Right.
our our collaboration with Jews and Christians and the society that we had, and the architecture that we made, and the art that we made. And it took a real like bloody inquisition to destroy that society, and it, you know, wasn't until, I mean, like, when, I don't remember the exact year that they arrived, but it was like the 8th century, and then it wasn't until 1492 that the last sultanate was kicked out of Spain.
Right. And I think this is where you met, as you mentioned, a lot of Jews then I think ended up in Morocco even more than were there before.
Yeah, they went to Morocco. They went to Egypt. They went to like
Tunisia.
the Ottoman Empire. Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
no,
Right. I mean, look, there's a huge
like
history that obviously we can't unpack all tonight, but that I feel like there should be more documentaries on, and I'll be happy to feature on them. But you know, like on the golden ages, like the Moors and other periods of time, you know, in what are now considered, I guess, are mostly our countries and also majority Muslim countries, like that have a long history of, like you said, being open to other cultures, having communities of different ethnic.
All right.
apparently it's unlawful assembly after a certain amount of time on Zoom if you have too many people.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because we've done other Zooms, like we go on for, you know.
Well, we
an hour
needed to
and a
take a
half.
little break.
Yeah. Well, let me just address
This is
this,
unlawful
okay? Because
assembly.
I've been on some podcasts now, and I haven't been on one where I'm waiting for one of the hosts to come back because he went to go take a break.
I
Shouldn't
didn't
I
initiate the break. It stopped the meeting because
Right. And then
with a
you took
certain
your
amount of-
time taking a break. I was back. Khalid Serafi was back. I'm like, where's Khalid Hussein? He says he's taking a break. He's taking a smoke break. He's taking a piss. What is this?
if we're gonna have break time, like, I'm gonna use it well.
Why wouldn't you tell your guests you could take a
I
break?
did.
Maybe I have to take a piss. Maybe I want to smoke something.
You could
You
have.
didn't tell me anything. I'm sitting
I-
around waiting on you.
Well, you could have talked. I told Zedafy, like, you could have talked to him.
I
I
did
gave
talk
him-
to him. We're twiddling our thumbs waiting for you.
Oh, fuck yourself.
I told him we're waiting on.
You
Pharaoh.
tell your
People-
guests, fuck
People wait
yourself.
on Pharaoh.
Nice.
Blame it all on me.
I don't have a
ahead.
problem with that.
I know you, because you're a douche.
Yeah. Now, a lot of times when we talk art, we talk politics, the
Hmm.
word douche gets used. I didn't come up with that. I ran with it, but I didn't come up with it. Can you explain a little why you were overusing the word douche to describe other men? You don't have to name
not
names.
other
You
men,
don't have to name names, but you would
not
use
other
it.
men, particularly you.
No, before me.
Oh,
Before
it
me.
started. Well, no, it started when we were talking about
You don't have to say his name.
early on when we first became friends. We were talking about a particular Middle East
Right.
commentator.
Commentator.
We don't have to name the name, but
Right.
he comments on the Middle East and has his own website and, you know,
Though I haven't heard about him in a
media
long time.
network bullshit. And I was like, he's a douche. And you said, well, you're a douche. And
Did I really
and-
say that?
yeah, you're like,
Like,
well,
right away?
you're a douche. And ever since then, we have sort of affectionately referred to each other as douche. And it has
Right.
become a thing that, you know.
I mean, is it douchey to wear a V-neck? Because I have a friend, Ali.
It is a little bit.
Are you serious? He's
It's a
always
little bit
bagging
douchey.
on me about V-necks, and I get the sense that he didn't say it explicitly, but I get the sense that he thinks it's douchey or douche looking, like Night at the Roxbury-ish, you know?
It's a little
And-
bit. It's a little bit douchey.
Is it really?
Yeah, V-necks are a little bit douchey.
I didn't know
You
that.
have to
Is
wear
it
them.
like the lower the V, the deeper the douche?
The douchier it is, the lower the V.
Okay.
The-
Well, mine's not very low. It's not like down to my
yeah,
navel with
that's
like a
just
big,
like a
gold
pointed.
chain.
It's more just like a pointed, regular neck.
That's right. It's not even a V-neck. It's just a pointed collar. Thank you.
Yeah. But like when you get to like real low V-necks, the lower the V, the douchier you go.
The douchier the douche. So how douchey am I wearing this right now?
You're okay. A regular
Really?
amount of douchey.
On a
I mean,
scale of
I
1
can
to
like
10,
measure how deep it
A
is.
scale of 1 to douche.
On a scale of
But,
1 to douche, how bad am I? How bad am I looking right
I mean, you're at regular level douchiness.
now? I can live with that.
I mean, this is I think there's, psychologists could dissect this about, how heterosexual males express emotion to each other, and
Right.
most
Like
of us
like
just
the-
insult each other. They're between heterosexual males. There's a lot of insulting, and most
Right.
of it is, the insults are actually affectionate.
although
Right.
although a lot of Middle Eastern, North African men, like they'll insult each other, but they'll also get pretty physical too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and it's taken in a different way,
Oh, sure, yeah. But I mean, in terms of male interaction, there's a level of insulting and like,
Ball busting.
grab assing and ball busting. That's like, it's just saying, hey, bro, I like you.
I love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Like that, right? Like,
Yeah, it's an I love you, bro, but it comes in the form of like, fuck you, douche.
right. I got that. I get that.
Yeah.
And then we just became friends ever since. And we've shown other places as well together. We had
Oh yeah,
another-
we've done plenty of art shows together.
In fact, I have like one of our hybrid paintings.
Yeah, we did some collaborations, paintings together.
Yeah, kind of like exquisite corpse style, right? Sort of. Maybe not. I mean, we passed.
I don't
back
know
and
how
forth little
exquisite
by
they
little.
were, but they
But
were
it wasn't
corpses.
like I guess not. We weren't. It's not like we weren't looking at the progress. So
No, it was cool because like I would do something and I'd pass it off to you, and you'd do something on it, and I'd pass it. And you would always do. This is the funny thing about our collaborations. On
don't
those
say
paintings.
if you make me sound like I did minimal work, I'm gonna be pissed
No,
off.
you would do stuff that made it really difficult to do other stuff to it.
I'm keeping you on your toes.
And like you would make it like, God, you like did all this texture and stuff. I'm like, how am I supposed to like
Tackle
revisit this now that you've like globbed on all this like texture paste and stuff like that?
Right.
It's like, you're not making it easy for me here, bro. But I think they turned out well. We sold a few of them. There's
Here's part of one I have here in my studio.
that's old school.
Well, why don't you talk a little bit, Noah, so that the
You
lights
see
on
it?
you.
You see it? One of our collabs.
Yeah, that's from like
Kind of
probably-
cubist. It's kind of more cubist looking now that I'm looking at it from after having not seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in years. That was like
2012.
2000
2012.
2012, yeah. That's vintage. Jesus, I can't believe it's been that much time.
It's golden era.
Well,
Golden era vintage.
we've been it's the douche era.
Same.
We've been douching for many years.
That sounds wrong.
Well, yeah, that's how you stay clean.
Wow. We need to start collabing again, and since there's more time at home, I want to start a piece like I did and drop it off to you. Are you willing to do that again?
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot, but I just did.
All right, I'm down.
Let's do it.
I have some
Take
canvases on hand. I got canvases on hand.
Take my hand. I'm trying to make a deal with you. Nice.
I don't know how fist bumping goes when you're doing a Zoom meeting.
Let's try it.
You just break your screen with your fist.
Kind of, it works.
I'm just gonna pound it.
Is that your pickup line? Is that a motto of yours? Pound it. Oh my God, dude, you got to do better. Just pound it.
This is why I call you a douche. Comments like that.
Yeah, just pound it. You said it. That's like your motto in life.
I was talking about fist bumping, okay? I wasn't talking. Because
you are a douche in your own right.
This is quickly devolved into like a Larry David episode.
A bad Larry David episode.
Speaking
of which,
the first draft.
Speaking of which, let's transition something serious.
Transition.
It's getting late.
Transizzle.
Look, I got a lot of ginger ale. Leave me alone.
You're all hopped up on ginger ale.
I'm all hopped up on ginger ale. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, you're trying.
I'm trying, and you're interrupting me, you asshole. Like you won't let me tell a story. You're getting me your fucking revenge because I
that's right.
block your stories.
When you
you are the biggest story interrupter in the universe.
Coitus interruptus.
Storius interruptus. You're the expert at interrupting stories. It took me like an hour to tell you like a 5-minute story.
He's a good storyteller.
But you know what?
You're a good storyteller. You get your flow, you got your rhythm.
You gotta have, you gotta build it. And then it's like this guy's just
back him up. Listen. You know what's wrong with you? If I hadn't said shit, you would have taken an hour to tell a 5-minute story. And that's why I keep interrupting you.
Well, it would have been a very sad story, though. I think it would have been a very sad story.
Go on and
you know what's wrong with you? You know what's wrong with you? You're a dude.
What? Fuck you, dude. I mean, seriously. What do you mean I'm a douche? You're a fucking douche.
Yeah, it takes one to know one.
Fuck. Well, yeah, okay. I won't argue. No argument there. But I mean, hey, this is an example of what you were saying earlier, like the way. What were you saying? The way bros like
bust each other's
guys
mouths.
Show love. That's what you were saying, right? Nice. Bromance.
Yeah. Ball busting.
Ball busting is bromance.
That's an
for bros,
essential part.
I guess. Not that we're bros, but you know what I mean.
Oh, we're not bros? What are you
know
trying
what
to
I'm
say?
saying? We're not bros. Like, hey, bro, like frat boy, bro. You know, we're bros, like us.
Like
you know, I mean, I was working at a place where we started using the term bro as like we started it ironically.
What place was this? Chippendales? Where did you work?
I don't have to tell you. I don't need to out myself. No, but
you just did.
We all started calling each other bros. We all started calling each other bros and we started ironically, and then it became actually kind of a religion. you know I mean, we just added bro to everybody's name. It's like Cal bro and Aaron bro.
Nice. I like
Jessica bro. Like everybody was bro.
It's like the word Smurf.
What?
Yeah.
What, Smurf? Did you say Smurf?
Smurf.
Smurf?
In the back in the day, the cartoons of Smurf, like Smurf was a word.
Yeah.
That's going anywhere. You know what, Gargamel? You look like the fucking bad guy to Smurfs right now. So move it along. All right.
Smurf bro. Yeah, we were all Smurf bros.
Are you recording?
Yeah,
recording.
There is a document of this conversation, and it will be posted online.
And it will be used against all of us in a court.
It will be used against all of us in a court of law.
That's right.
Dun, dun. Like Law and Order.
Was that the Law and Order? I got that. I knew you were doing that Law and Order. Dun, dun. Do you know what that sound is? It's like monks stomping on a hardwood floor all at once.
What are you talking about? Where do you get
that
this?
sound from motherfucker? Law and Order. You just brought up Law and Order.
Yeah.
And that sound, that dun-dun. I read about that sound, and I'm telling you a little trivia that you might like to know, which is that sound is monks being recorded stomping on a floor.
Seriously?
Like some ritual they do. I'm serious. This isn't like Kabbalah secret shit. I'm telling you, I know this trivia. But
really, that I did not know.
And I'm here to teach you. And I just enlighten you, my friend.
Oh, I feel
now you know what that.
I feel very enlightened and douchey.
Golden era vibes with me, dude. This is the Moor. Just call me the Moor.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
But
this is from the same guy that I was going to a funeral, and you were sleeping on my couch for the night, and I pulled out my black suit and a black shirt, and I was like, "How do I look?" And your response was,
"You look good, and you look sad and douchey."
You look sad and douchey. That was your response.
Well, I was trying to make you feel a little bit. I was trying to lighten the mood. I mean, you're going to a funeral. You need a little comic relief, but I also wanted you to know that you looked appropriately sad. So sad and douchey is what I came up with to satisfy my desire to show you tough love like a bro, I guess,
Yeah.
Khalid is therapy.
Sick fuck. Anyway,
jump in here and help us out because
I'm just listening to the stories, man. You guys have more stories together than I do.
What did you tell me earlier? You have more links than a.
What happened?
What did you say earlier to me? Khalid was saying you have more links than.
Oh, it was like the gold necklace.
Yeah, he said
gold
something
chain.
like that. You have more links than a gold necklace. Like that.
Oh, well, actually, we can talk about how I met Serafi.
Yeah, I want to hear that because I met Serafi through you.
Yeah.
And I met you through our art show. Serafi came into the scene. Did you guys know each other from UCLA or what?
Yeah, we were students together. We met in our religion seminar.
Did you like each other right away, or was it like?
Oh, I mean,
was it like that guy looks like a douche?
I mean, we had it was a problem because we had the same first name. So then we went
everything
my last.
With you is a problem, in my experience. Everything with you is a problem.
We were like looking at each other like, no, that's my name, right? And it's like there was like this tension, but then this incident happened.
So you were the two Khalids in the class.
Yeah, so then it was like, okay, everyone's gonna refer to you by your last name. So it was Serafi and Hussein.
Nice.
And it's like, okay, Hussein and Serafi. And Serafi invited me to study after class. to meet up at like one of the like study rooms in Kirchhoff, I believe was the name of the building at UCLA. So we met up to study. Kirchhoff, yeah.
That's what everyone called it, but yeah.
Kirchhoff. It had like a coffee shop and like study rooms. And we met up to study, talk about the readings. And we met up with another student. So it was 3 of us. And we started talking because she was Egyptian, I was Egyptian, he's Syrian.
You were? You were?
I still am.
Exactly.
It hasn't expired yet.
You're mummified.
But so we were talking like Middle East politics, and for some reason we got onto Syria.
This was 2008.
Yeah, this was like 2008 when
I was doing Istanbul artist residency in 2008.
You were douching Istanbul. Very good.
Yes. I'll tell you more about that later. 2008. Go ahead.
No, well, so this was when Bashar al-Assad, who is still the fucking president of Syria, was considered.
I don't think that's the official title, but okay.
I think it is. I think fucking is the always
the appropriate word.
Like precede the word president when you speak of him.
Fucking
president. In 2008, he was considered a possible reformer and like a liberal, and like he's a younger generation.
Are you telling me he was like Bernie Sanders of Syria?
No, I wouldn't call him a Bernie Sanders of Syria. He was like, but they considered him like possibly a reformer.
I mean, this is after he had inherited power from his father, who had been in power for 30 years and was an iron-fisted dictator, right? Yeah. So they saw a younger dude, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he was educated in the West. He
went
dressed
to school
nice.
In England. He went to school in the UK.
So they had hopes.
Like what? He was in pediatrics, right?
I think he was an ophthalmologist.
I thought he was a pediatrician. I don't know. Whatever. He was in some kind of like fucking.
Imagine that dude with kids.
Oh Jesus. But people were like, "Oh, because he studied in the West, he must be nice." He speaks good English. We can relate to him.
That's not accurate.
If anything, the West like wanted him to be that way. But anyway.
That was the perception. In any case, during the conversation in our study session, his name came up, and I don't remember exactly the phrasing I used, but I was like, "Fuck Bashar al-Assad, like he's a fucking asshole. I think I kind of called him a douche, not in the good way, but I was like, fuck him. I think I called him a dope. Like he's a fucking like dopey ass dictator fucker." And the other Egyptian girl that we were studying with was like, "Hold on, like this guy's from Syria. Like he might be offended. What if he likes his president?" And I was like, "Well then fuck him too." And that's how we and Sandy was like, "Okay." Like I don't know, remember did you say that?
I was like, "I like this guy. We can get along. We can get along."
No, that was how we became friends. Over mutual hatred of Bashar al-Assad.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how
the friendship began.
Nice. I like that. That's a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta understand. We went to school with like a mixed group of people in that. How do I put this? Different ideological backgrounds. People who had wildly different. People who were, some were, for the US invasion of Iraq, some were pro-Zionist, some were this, some were that. And then there were some who weren't pro any of that, but still were just like on the fence, kind of like, all right. I think that there were very few who I could honestly say would just hold it down ethically on like the main issues, you know? And so I think that's also why we connected so well.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
were
the thing
dicks.
about this podcast is that that's kind of like the spirit of all of this. You know,
Yeah.
we bring up the shit that people are on the fence about or afraid to talk about or are against, flat out against, right? And we're ahead of our time. We think about things and we talk about things before they happen, but we predict them and we
Really?
say, yeah, well, let Hussein talk about this a little bit. You want to talk about 303 a little bit?
You guys are on some like clairvoyant level status.
We predicted the Arab Spring, dude.
Are you serious?
Okay, I mean, I would like.
In a way, in a way.
Like I'm not, like I'm not claiming any special skills, but
But we are.
yeah, okay. Oh, you want me to tell? You want us to
We can be a little douchey about
with
it.
You are.
Professor, what's his fuck? B- 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 b-
Wait. I know who you're talking about. Binder.
Binder. Yeah, okay, Professor Binder, who's like an 800-year-old like vampire, who like he literally like fought in 1948
For the Irgun.
with the proto-Israeli army.
Really?
This guy was everywhere. This guy was definitely CIA, man. Like he was there when the revolution happened in Iran. He was there in Pakistan, like hanging out with like whenever there was some like major shit happening in the region, he was there. Like he was imprisoned.
Binder was Binder was up in all that shit, and he was like a 1,000-year-old man. And you go to his office hours, and he had his like midget wife, who was like this midget troll who never really spoke. She'd just be like, "Hello, I'm your wife," and and just sit there. And like you're having office hours with your professor, and his like weird little troll wife is just like, "I'm your wife." Anyway, he taught political science, and so his classes were part of the curriculum. He was actually my advisor on one of my papers, and so for the papers for for the degree that I was going for, you had to do 3 20-page research papers as your dissertation.
He was one of mine too. He was such an asshole about signing off.
Yeah, he was a fucking asshole. And so I did a research paper that was about, and this was in 2010, right? So in 2010, or no, 2009, really. I was right. I wrote this paper about how people in project cities, inner city Cairo, people in Egypt, how they avoided the police when they had like conflicts, when there was conflicts between families. Some people got into a fight, somebody killed somebody, and they didn't want to go to the police because everyone knew it was police state. Egypt was a harsh police state, and they didn't want to get the police involved. So they would do these like family courts, and so they relied on customary law. A lot of them were come from like Bedouin descent, and they're going back on, they're relying on old school ways of resolving conflicts.
Tribal laws.
Yeah, tribal law, Islamic law, like some combination of that. But they all sort of agreed, and it actually worked. And like, we don't want to get the police involved. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna have the oldest, most respected person in the family sit down, be the judge, and we're gonna argue our cases, and we're gonna resolve the conflict that way without getting the state involved because no one trusted the government. And so I wrote a paper about how this was uh, a sign of, you know, a revolutionary possibility in Egypt, that this is
Right.
like a brewing, like there is a revolutionary sentiment. There is the possibility of people like taking over their society. Um, you know, I was arguing the revolutionary end of that. And Professor Binder was like, read the paper and was like, no, 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 no. Read this book that was written in 1994. And, you know, there's no chance of revolution in Egypt and blah, blah, blah. Like, rewrite the paper. And I wanted to graduate, so I did rewrite the paper. And I rewrote the paper where I was like, but there's this and this, and and there's probably not going to be a revolution. The next year, because 2011, there was a fucking revolution in Egypt. Like, the things that I was talking about
You're prophetic.
as possibilities actually happened.
Right.
And so I really wanted to just go to his office and just be like, yeah, oh yeah,
Right.
fuck you. You made me change my paper.
Right.
And you were like, you poo-pooed me. I was talking about the possibility of revolution in Egypt. Literally 1 year later, it happened, and they toppled the government, and it was glorious. And 2011, for those of us who are attached to Arab politics and Arab societies in these countries, like 2011 was amazing. It was everything that we had always like dreamed of and hoped for. A youth movement, that's supported by older, people that rise up against the government and actually drive these old dictators out of power. It was beautiful. It got crushed by coup d'etats and, takeovers later and civil wars. It got crushed, but it's not dead. And it was fucking beautiful, and it was our generation's revolution.
Right. And you did a graphic novel about the Tunisia Arab Spring in Tunisia, right?
I did.
Tell us about that.
I mean, I did. I mean, I was so excited about what was going on. Tunisia was the first revolution in 2011. And so I was like, I'm not there in the Middle East. I'm not there in North Africa to participate. My participation is going to be artistic and narrative. So I did an illustrated history of the Tunisian rebellion that ended with, the toppling of the government.
Right.
Tunisia is still, to this day, one of the countries out of the Arab Spring that is, still moving towards democracy and
the least bad
situation. It hasn't totally been reversed.
Yeah, it's like least bad situation.
It's the least suppressed, of all of those revolutions.
But would you say
I was like, I wanted to, contribute something. So I did an illustrated thing. It's like 100 pages of drawings and a narrative of
the very detailed work. I remember how much time you put into that.
I mean, I did it fast for what it was. Because I just spent all my time on it. Like, my girlfriend at the time almost broke up with me over it because I was doing nothing but drawing and writing. It almost ruined my relationship. But it's like I was on a mission, and I got it done in within the year.
I think it's great. I think it's great, and the illustrations are awesome. A lot of just nice graphic detail.
Yeah, let's put a link to it.
I mean, I still have calluses on my fingers. Like, I got a callus on my finger that is definitely from holding the pen.
Right.
It was a, and when you're spending that much time drawing, at some point your eyes start to like you need to get up and look at something in the distance because your eyes are so like have been focused on something at a certain distance.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
focusing on this paper for so long that you need to get up and like let your eyes adjust to actually looking at the world.
You do. That's true.
It's a real thing that happens. Yeah,
it is.
Anyway, that's my hero moment.
That's awesome. That book is available on Amazon, or where is it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can get it. It's even there's a digital version. You can get it on Kindle.
The Tunisian Awakening. Well, we'll
Nice.
share the link.
Yeah, that'd be great. Share the link.
It's you can get a physical copy or you can get it on Kindle.
Nice.
But yeah.
I had to take a
all right.
I
All
had
right,
to
go
take
for
a
it.
smoke break.
Yeah, I'm gonna smoke you on my next smoke break. I'm gonna come to Pasadena and smoke you.
Nice. Come on. Welcome back, everyone. This is segment 3.
Yeah.
I'm your douche.
اهلا وسهلا المشاهدين الكرام. البرنامج اليوم
مرحبا بكم
مع ضيفنا الدوش. ضيفنا الكريم.
معنا اليوم الدوش.
Say that Moroccan.
اسمي سيدي نوح الدوش.
الباشا نوح ابن دوشي.
الفنان
المغربي الامريكاني اليهودي الدوشي. اهلا وسهلا.
فنان كبير.
الفنان
شيخ الفنانين. شيخ الفنانين.
دوش الفنانين.
وشكرا.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
You have been fully invited and introduced.
Welcome.
Yes, you've been welcomed.
Lauded.
Yes.
So what are like, we did a little spiel right there with, going into some Arabic for fun, like improv. But in Morocco, for example, I mean, an interesting cultural difference, than like mainstream American culture is like when you greet someone in American culture, hey, how are you? It's been a while. What's going on? Like it's done in like a few seconds, basically, right? Intros, or not even intros, sorry. Like greetings between friends. I mean, this can go on for minutes.
Outros, like, saying goodbye, that takes forever too.
Right. Hellos and goodbyes are very drawn out.
You say goodbye. Nice. Before you leave the door, you say goodbye, and then you walk them out the door, and then you say goodbye again, and then you walk them down the stairs, and you say goodbye again. And it's basically a whole other hangout. Like,
right.
It's a whole like
you'll get to the front gate of your building, and they're walking you there. Then they're walking you out to the street, and it's
and then you talk some more, and you say goodbye some more. It's like the whole hangout could have been done in this. Could have been done in the elevator. Because the amount of time you spend like saying goodbye, it's like
right,
and then you kiss cheeks, and then you say goodbye, and then you kiss cheese again, and then you're like, it's like the whole thing could have just happened in the elevator because that was a full hangout.
Right.
Half an
It's
hour.
an interesting cultural point. I mean, I find that interesting. I got used to it, but there were times where I was like, man, I don't want to see this dude right now because I don't want to talk. I mean, maybe I have to have a headache. So I'm like, I don't want to talk for the next 10 minutes saying, hello, how are you? How are your kids? How's your mom? What's been happening? Like,
how's your grandma?
How's your grandma? I haven't seen them in a while. What's going on? Like, I miss you. It's just like, it's sweet, but it goes on really long sometimes. Because I'm used to the more like quick American.
There's no way to avoid it.
Right.
وينك صرنا زمان ما شفناك, where have you been? I miss you, all that good stuff. And it's like, dude, you saw me just like a few days ago.
Right.
Right. We were hanging out yesterday. Nothing else has happened.
You moron. You know what? I have to plug my iPad. I think
you have to plug yourself in.
I could switch to my phone. Hold on, I might be able to do this.
Well, how long? Yeah, because I think we're wrapping this up.
It says I have 10. Should we just go to my battery dies?
I think we're wrapping this up anyway. Okay. We don't have to do the Arab goodbye where we go to the stairwell and we can do a quicker goodbye than that.
Well, listen, I do really appreciate being on this podcast. I think it's really dope that you guys started this and had me on as the first douche. I mean, first guest.
You were the first douche.
Or both, maybe. And I know we got to ramble and have our usual sort of conversation that's all over the place, but we get gems.
No, that's some hilarious shit. Next time we'll actually talk about. Next time we'll talk about something.
So this was like our Seinfeld episode. It wasn't really about anything, but just introducing ourselves to everyone by talking shit to each other.
Yeah, it's like it's about nothing.
It's a pod about nothing.
Yeah.
You're the Seinfeld of podcasts. It's a podcast about nothing.
You're a douche pod, so
That's true. That's why I'm here.
At least you can accept it. The first stage is acceptance.
Just own it, man. Own it.
I'm owning it.
My name is Noah, and I'm a douche pod.
You call me a douche, and you did. I knew what you were gonna do, and I still went in for the trap because I love you. So what can I say?
Oh, Lord of mercy.
God of mercy.
Lordy.
What would be a good outro? Like Pan.
You want to sing a song?
I was gonna say Pan Global Friendly. What's a good outro?
I don't know, but I mean, you want to sing a song?
No, I mean, well, what would you like? Frankly, no, I don't. I don't want to sing a song, but
I'll sing a song.
Yeah, please don't. Let's just. By the way, everyone, I'll be back because we need to talk about cooking. I was once at Khalid Hussein's house, and he made one of those everything but the kitchen sink soups. He said it was an Egyptian soup, but he was like, I mean, there were like 50 ingredients in the soup. I think he might have poured some Jack Daniels in there, which I really don't think is a traditional recipe. But maybe that's his.
I make my own version, okay?
I get it.
I make my own version. So
I think we should give some shouts out to the douche crew. Remember the original douche crew? I mean, me, for one. Me,
yeah.
you. Shout out to Rama.
Bow Wow Wow EPO EPA.
Him. Yeah, Bauhaus.
We'll probably have those fools like pop in.
Yeah. I'm giving them a shout out.
Warren Fahmy.
The Fat Man.
I was about to say the other Pharaoh. Ramses.
Yeah, exactly.
And who else? Oh, Goleen.
One Goleen.
Let's be honest.
one
Let's be
Goli
honest.
Kamari Sabzi, Dr.
Kamari,
Sabzi
Sabzi.
is no, she already said she would be honored.
Well, she should be, because I am, and this was a great show, and I look forward to seeing other members of the original West LA late night loitering around Westwood. And what was that bakery we were always at? Elise. And
Cafe Elise, which also is known
AKA
as
Sugar Buns.
Sugar
what
buns.
is it called?
We called it Sugar Buns.
Why?
Long story.
I guess we don't have time for that.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole other story.
So we'll save that for the next pod. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us this evening, and thank you to the Khalidiyya podcast for having me on. I appreciate it. This was dope. Let's do it again.
You're appreciated, and you will definitely be on again. And we will definitely have to edit this.
You're much loved.
Shukran.
You're much loved.
Habibi.
Beloved douche.
Qalbi.
Our
قلبي
beloved.
يا
Our beloved.
حبيبي يا عيوني
Ayuni.
يا
Ayuni.
عيوني يا حبيب
كبيرة.
قلبي
Anfusa. Habib Qalbi.
يزمة.
Yes.
All right, douche. We'll talk again soon.
I think he logged out.
No. All right. All right.
Boss.
I'm gonna log out too then.
Cool.
All right.
Peace.
And good night,
Good night.
buddy.